Paris Jackson, the daughter of the late music icon Michael Jackson, is at the center of a significant legal and financial story. As one of the main beneficiaries of her father's vast estate, her financial future has been a topic of public interest since his passing in 2009. Michael Jackson named his three children, Paris, Prince, and Biggie, as the heirs to his legacy and fortune. The estate has been managed by court-appointed executors, who are responsible for growing its value and distributing funds to the beneficiaries. This arrangement was designed to protect the children's inheritance while navigating the complex financial landscape left behind by the King of Pop. New information has recently emerged, providing a clearer picture of the financial support Paris Jackson has received. According to a court filing submitted on October 9, 2025, the estate's managers have disclosed that Paris has been given benefits totaling approximately $65 million so far. This figure highlights the immense wealth generated by the estate in the years following Michael Jackson's death. It shows that significant sums have been made available to the beneficiaries for their support, education, and other needs. The number is not just a headline, it represents the tangible results of the estate's management over more than a decade. This revelation comes not as a simple update, but as part of a growing conflict between Paris and the very people managing her inheritance. While $65 million is a life-changing amount of money, the dispute centers on how the estate is spending its funds, particularly on its own legal and administrative costs. The release of this figure seems timed to counter claims that the estate is not acting in the best interests of the beneficiaries. It sets the stage for a larger argument about financial oversight, transparency, and the responsibilities of those entrusted with one of music history's most valuable legacies. The core of the issue is a fundamental disagreement about what constitutes reasonable spending. For Paris Jackson, now 27 years old, this is about more than just numbers on a page. It is about accountability and the future of her father's estate. The disclosure of the $65 million serves as a powerful statement from the executors, suggesting that the beneficiaries have been well cared for. However, it also brings to light the tension that has been building behind the scenes, leading to a legal confrontation that questions the very decisions that helped the estate grow so large. This isn't just a family matter, it's a high-stakes financial drama. The legal conflict officially began in the summer of 2025 when Paris Jackson took formal action against the estate's executors. In a petition filed on June 24, she raised serious objections to specific payments made to three law firms that worked for the estate. These payments, which totaled $625,000, were described as premium payouts and gratuities for what was termed uncaptured time. Paris's legal team argued that these were not ordinary, legal fees, but were instead lavish gratuities or overly generous bonuses that were paid without the necessary court approval, which she claims was a direct violation of a previous court order. At the heart of Paris's complaint is the principle of oversight. Her petition seeks to challenge the authority of the executors to make such large, discretionary payments without first getting a judge's permission. According to her filing, a 2010 court order was supposed to prevent exactly this kind of situation by requiring prior court approval for attorney payments. By paying the law firms first and seeking approval later, Paris argues, the executors bypassed a crucial check and balance. She is now asking the court to rescind that 2010 order, which would force the executors to get all legal fees approved by a judge before any money is paid out. The estate's executors have a very different view of these payments. They strongly defend the $625,000 in bonuses, framing them as well-deserved rewards for extraordinary services and results. They argue that the attorneys involved were instrumental and critical in achieving financial successes for the estate that were, in their words, unprecedented. The executors claim these payments are standard business practice for rewarding exceptional performance and that they are, in fact, subject to final approval from the probate court. They are not hiding the payments, they say, but simply following a process they believe is appropriate. In response to Paris's legal challenge, the executors have launched a countermove under California's anti-SLAPP statute. This law is designed to stop lawsuits that are filed simply to silence or punish someone for exercising their right to petition the courts. The executors argue that Paris's petition is an improper legal filing intended to chill their ability to manage the estate effectively. They contend that their decisions, including rewarding their legal team, are part of the business judgment that has proven incredibly successful. This legal tactic turns the tables, accusing Paris's challenge of being a meritless attack on their legitimate work. To understand the executor's perspective, it is crucial to look at the financial state of Michael Jackson's estate at the time of his death in 2009. The King of Pop left behind an incredible musical legacy, but he also left behind enormous financial problems. The estate was burdened with over $500 million in debt, and many believed it was on the verge of collapse. The future looked bleak, with creditors lining up and valuable assets at risk of being sold off at a loss. The challenge for the newly appointed executors, John Branca and John McClane, was monumental. They had to turn this mountain of debt into a profitable enterprise. Over the past 16 years, the executors have overseen a truly astonishing financial turnaround. Through savvy business deals, new projects, and careful management of Michael Jackson's vast catalog of music and intellectual property, they transformed the estate. According to the executors, they turned that $500 million debt into a thriving entity, now valued at approximately $2 billion. An attorney for the estate recently stated that under the current management, the estate has generated over $3 billion in gross earnings. This success story is the foundation of the executors' defense against Paris's legal challenge. A key example of their successful management was the estate's investment in EMI Music Publishing. The executors made a strategic decision that resulted in a massive return. In 2018, Sony purchased the Michael Jackson estate's shares in EMI, a deal that brought in a staggering profit of more than $287 million for the estate. It is this specific success that the executors connect directly to the disputed lawyer bonuses. They point out that the $625,000 in gratuities was requested for a 6-month period in 2018, the same year this massive EMI profit was realized. The executors argue that the bonuses, when seen in context, are a small price to pay for such incredible results. They claim that the nearly $300 million earned from the EMI deal alone makes the $625,000 bonus seem like a minor and reasonable expense. From their point of view, rewarding the legal team that helped facilitate such a profitable transaction is simply good business. This argument frames Paris's complaint as being short-sighted, focusing on a relatively small expenditure while ignoring the enormous value that the executors and their team have created for her and the other beneficiaries over the years. The ongoing legal dispute between Paris Jackson and the estate's executors is now heading toward a critical moment in court. The conflicting arguments have been laid out in legal filings, and a judge will soon need to weigh in on the matter. The next court hearing is scheduled for Thursday, October 16, 2025, just one day from now. This hearing will likely address the executors' anti-SLAPP motion, which seeks to dismiss Paris's petition. The outcome of this hearing could determine whether her challenge to the executors' spending authority moves forward or is stopped in its tracks. This case is about more than just a single payment of $625,000. It raises fundamental questions about the future management of the Michael Jackson estate. If Paris is successful, it could lead to much stricter court oversight of the executors' financial decisions, particularly when it comes to paying their own legal and professional teams. This could change how the estate has been run for over a decade. On the other hand, if the executors prevail, it would reinforce their authority and business judgment, allowing them to continue operating with the same level of autonomy that has, by their own account, generated billions of dollars. For Paris Jackson, this legal fight appears to be a matter of principle. As a primary beneficiary who is now an adult, she is asserting her right to question how her father's legacy is being managed. Her concern is focused on ensuring that the estate's money is spent wisely and transparently, not on lavish gratuities that she believes were paid without proper authorization. It signals a new chapter for the Jackson children, who are no longer minors but active stakeholders with a vested interest in the long-term health and integrity of the estate, built on their father's name. Ultimately, the court's decision will have lasting implications. It will set a precedent for how the estate operates as it continues to manage Michael Jackson's music, image, and other assets for years to come. The case highlights the inherent tension between the need for professional managers to have the freedom to make quick, profitable decisions and the right of beneficiaries to demand accountability. As the legal proceedings unfold, the world will be watching to see how the court balances the business of legacy with the responsibilities owed to the heirs of the King of Pop.